Welcome to Southaven Business Beat. Business and community leaders talk with us to provide invaluable resources to aid the business community.
Thank you for joining us for Season 2 of Southaven Business Beat. Our presenting sponsor is TJ Animation Workshop.
On the surface, an animated video can give viewers an overview of what your organization does or simply educate your audience on a topic. Under the surface, your content can pique a viewer's interest enough that they initiate contact with you, and hopefully, you come away with an opportunity. But how do animated videos accomplish these things? Animated videos are computerized images that move. With animation, we are able to put a heavy focus on the message that your viewer receives. We do this by reinforcing the audio with video. For example, if the goal of your animated video was to increase awareness about how you serve your customers, then we would create a video that shines a spotlight on the problem you solve, the solution, and the process you go through to get that solution. With the visuals being an animation, your viewers aren't going to want to take their eyes off the screen.
Contact TJ's Animation Workshop today. Call 662-590-8301.
And now here's your host, Aaron Cozort.
Hello, I'm Aaron Cozort, and this is another episode, a very special episode of Southaven Business Beat. We are here with the Bouchillon brothers, and we are going to talk about the history of Southaven, and they know it because they lived it.
In 1958, our dad, A.W. Bouchillon, went by Bush to a lot of his friends, was asked by the Desoto County supervisors to help start up a Desoto County Planning and Council. And Development Council,
right.
Which we know is the Desoto County Planning Commission today. And he had no background in planning, but the supervisors knew him, knew of his integrity, and knew he knew a lot of people across the county. And in 1958, that was developed, started, that organization by the supervisors, and he was the planning director for 19 years. Before he went on to be tax collector assessor. But I say that to say that from Dad's involvement in Southaven,
right,
as far as inspecting homes, being sure they were built based on electrical, plumbing, building codes,
right,
etc., is a huge part, not just Dad, but again, the visionary of people of where DeSoto County looks a lot different from surrounding counties. Nothing wrong with their counties, but the development and the zoning of putting things here, and it adds value here,
right,
to what we see infrastructure as far as roads and streets and schools and things of that nature played a big part of where Southaven began by Kerry White, working for, who were the people at Holiday Inn?
You're talking about Wallace Johnson, Kimmerly Wilson.
They were the people that first brought in development, extending what was being done in Whitehaven across the state line, just a suburban area.
Right.
It was
right.
It was strange that back in the early days of Southaven, people would go for Christmas or Thanksgiving, and it would be an isolated place,
right,
because people went back to young couples went back to their families. Interesting time.
You know, it just highlights how when someone enables opportunity, when they work a plan, when they set a plan, when they don't just do things without thinking about it, right, they create opportunity, but they don't just create an opportunity in the present, they create opportunity in the future. Right. And it is important at every stage in the life of a community, a city, municipality, to have those plans being talked about, to have those opportunities and that a development mindset, because you're laying a foundation. And if the foundation's poorly laid, then you get a poor result. Right. But if you have someone who operates on integrity, you look at so many situations in the lifetimes of ourselves where someone who was in that planning position didn't operate with integrity, and they destroyed the foundation of what everyone else was trying to build. Right. And so having that idea of integrity first those county planners saw an opportunity with an individual, said, you know what, this person's going to operate on integrity, and we can build off of integrity. You get that opportunity to build long-term relationships. You get that opportunity to build long-term plans, and you get the opportunity to build a long-term community.
Right. So it makes the long start of where Southaven came from.
Well, yeah, we had, before Southaven started, not talking about nobody's business or nothing, but, you know, we had trailer houses down here on State Line Road, had a junkyard two junkyards on 51 up here before you get to the curve up here on top of the hill. Then on down the road in Horn Lake, Olive Branch the same way, was the big junkyard over there on 78 was a huge one. Anyhow, that's what you first saw when you came into Mississippi.
Gotcha.
They wanted to change the impression of Mississippi by kind of setting guidelines for people to go by. Back in the day, Miss Johnson, President Johnson's wife, she was in charge of the beauty, and that's when they come up with putting the fences around junkyards.
Okay.
To hide them, you
right,
know.
Right.
And it grew from there, you know, making the state look good as they come in, a town
right,
they come in, it looked nice, you know. The housing, back in the day, a house was a shotgun house. You could shoot all the way through it, you know. But, you know, the plumbing, all part of the convenience of a home.
Right.
Not to last several years, but a long time.
Right, right.
There's some houses here built back in, I guess, early 60s.
Yeah.
Right.
Over Southaven West, there's some houses built over less than $10,000.
Yeah, yeah.
Built over there.
Right.
And people had an opportunity to buy a house and pay a house note less than $50.
Right, right.
The house I had, it was a 2,000 square foot house, and it cost me a little over $13,000.
Little change from today.
Yeah.
Little bit of change from today.
Note was $97.50. I mean,
which was a pretty good amount at that time.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Right.
Well, and you know, you consider the changes in the economy, the value of the dollar, but also you think about as you consider this, being on the border of Tennessee and being on the border of Mississippi and where Mississippi and Tennessee meet. What were some of the challenges or opportunities that existed for the city of Southaven because of that?
I would say some of the challenges would be education. You know,
Right.
we had a large number of young couples moving into the area, Desoto County, and there were all going to school at Horn Lake High School, elementary school, because that was the only school in the area. John Grisham, who graduated from Southaven in, I think, 74 or 5, most of his high school started in Horn Lake High School.
Right.
Till the Southaven High School opened in 74,
Something like
73,
that.
something like that.
Yeah.
So
Like it.
Yeah.
we didn't even have our own schools here, obviously. And we were all dairy country at
Right.
that point.
Sure.
It was just agricultural. And now we've grown to the third largest municipality in the state.
Absolutely. You know, it's been quite a journey. When I was growing up, lived in Olive Branch when I was around 13, 14 years old, and you go down Goodman Road, and it was mostly farm. You would leave Olive Branch,
Right.
and eventually you would arrive in Southaven. It's not like that anymore, is it?
Right.
No,
It's all
no.
together. Horn Lake, same way.
Yes.
Yeah, that's
But-
very interesting. And I'm not sure what year, but Goodman Road, talking about Olive Branch, ended at Old Getwell, which is just on the east side of the Kroger store there.
Right.
And it did not go on over.
Right.
And so I'm not sure when he was
It
cut
didn't
all the
go.
way
It
through.
didn't go to Pleasant Hill. You had to go round and come back up Pleasant Hill Road to Goodman Road, and then go to Olive Branch. We went across Goodman to Snowden Place.
Right there
And
on
an old Getaway
Right,
used to go down from the Snowden's old home down
Yep.
there.
Yep.
And then go take a left and go all the way to Pleasant Hill Road.
So you're talking about challenges, infrastructure.
Absolutely.
Rasco Road ended at Airways.
Mm-hmm.
Airways ended at Rasco, meaning it did not go all the way to Goodman Road.
Right.
It did not go east toward Greenbrook.
Right.
That was, that's where it ended.
Yeah.
And when I built my office in 1984, State Line was a 2-lane road at that time. Now it's 5 lanes. And I'm not sure, when Greenbrook was built in the 70s, subdivision, that was a huge, nice, wow.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
There was Greenbrook North and Greenbrook South. It's infrastructure. That was one of the biggest changes, and they've done wonderful things over the years. My father, being planning director, fought for sidewalks
Yes.
in developments. But contractors and the expense it added to the house and et cetera battled him.
Yes.
And so we're not as good a pedestrian community as we could have been.
Right.
But
right.
we're seeing that being corrected.
Absolutely.
Even today.
Absolutely.
So anyway.
As someone who lives in that Greenbrook area, that's where my family lives. We were very happy to be in that area. It's still a great neighborhood, and it's a quiet neighborhood except for FedEx flying overhead. But there's a lot of places around this city where it's quiet except for FedEx.
Well, I lived on White Ash, which is on the south part, by the ball fields,
right?
Which were started in their infancy, and that's when FedEx did not have the sound muffling engine. So you people said, how do you live? How can you sleep at night? You just get used to it.
That's right. That's right.
They were very loud.
Yes. We tell people, like, listen, we don't hear them unless you're outside. Now, if you're outside and you're talking on your cell phone, you just stop because you can't hear anything. But you just learn to operate.
We're taking a second to thank our sponsors. Follow App. The Follow App is the long-term solution for networking, instantly connecting you to those frequently missed opportunities to find the right referral partner or new client to grow your business. Wisdom Integrators. Are you a business owner and is technology getting in the way of your business? If your computers are slow, your website is horrible, or your business needs more efficiency, then it's time to reach out to Aaron Cozort and Wisdom Integrators. Would you like to be a sponsor? Contact Debbie King at 662-342-6114 for more information. Be sure to share and subscribe for more business resources. Now back to Southaven Business Beat and host Aaron Cozort.
And it's interesting as you bring that up, as changes happen, people adjust. People assimilate to those scenarios, and some people like it, and some people don't like it, and some people assimilate well, and some people leave. What are some of the changes that you really think made a big difference in the city of Southaven?
Well, I was going to say a while ago when you was talking about the structure of Southaven and in all of DeSoto County. When my daddy started the planning commission for the county, he educated his own self basically by started out going to Memphis to see how their planning went. And then he went to other places where big cities were planning the future. And he built a structure for the county to follow, which the state, Mississippi State, picked that up, and they taught planning and developing at Mississippi State through his book that he put together. But but he was well known across the United States at these conventions they go to about having so much knowledge of it. But all of his knowledge was what he put together for this county. And he lived this county. He loved this county. He fought for it. FBI tried to bribe him, you know, and he had them arrested. And this happened right there at Horn Lake. Where
the Home Depot is.
I was say, tell me this story. tell what happened?
Well, you know, you were talking about integrity earlier, and there were some people in political positions in Desoto County, not naming any names, that were subject to, you know, overlooking things, codes, and getting things pushed that Dad had to fight and struggle against. And he had people on his side, and so that's why we succeeded.
Right.
But there was a sting by the FBI about this bribery in Desoto County, and there was I can't think of the juke joint that was on that property.
I don't know that.
But they had a bar.
It was in that was old
VFW?
VFW.
Okay.
So what time frame was this?
We're talking about
1970s, early something
like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, Fred Rogers was working in the planning commission with my father, and he had been approached about doing some things that weren't correct. You know, can you help us out? We're new to the area, and we want to get this done, but you know, we really don't need that expense for this or that.
Right.
I don't know all the details, but Fred reported back to Dad, and that just lit his fire.
Yeah.
And he met with them, and that's when, you know, he tried to have them arrested, and then that exposed who they were.
Exposed their game.
But they did bring down a couple of people locally, and it was unfortunate. They have wonderful families, and but some people just took the wrong avenue.
Right.
But Dad, going back to the word integrity, that's why I easily use that word of my father, is knowing some of the things that he could have done.
Absolutely.
That he just instinct was, no, that's not right. We don't do it that way.
Sure.
And there was a lot of people who said, yeah, we can do it that way. But anyway, that integrity was very important.
Well, and one of the things that you build when you build and operate off of integrity is you build opportunities that go well beyond yourself. I mean, you're someone who's operated a business in this city for decades now, and that doesn't happen without integrity. That doesn't happen without multi-generational integrity, because eventually, if you don't have integrity, people find out, and your reputation is you don't have integrity, as opposed to building a reputation that you can build a business, you can operate, you can build a family off of, and you can help a city to grow as a result of that.
It gives you opportunities as a business person to give back into the community, whether you're buying advertisement from local schools or nonprofits or Chamber of Commerce. I've been a member of the Chamber of Commerce since I became an agent in 1978, and just a wonderful, you know, organization that always, in my mind, promoted what's best for the community.
Absolutely. You know, one of the things that I know Debbie King has talked about before is that the Chamber of Commerce was incorporated before the city was.
That's right.
And so the Chamber, where we're recording this right now, has had a big part to play in the city. What are some things that you remember from some of the directors of the Chamber in the past that made a difference, or events that the Chamber did back in the history of Southaven?
Well, my biggest interest back at that time was the JCs, in which we were built, pushed it for kids.
Right.
We
now those would be junior colleges,
junior adults is JCs, junior. It was for people 35 and younger, or 40 and younger.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. It was a civic organization like Rotary and whatever. They were just called the JCs.
Okay.
And this is where people like Vernon McCammon, his brother Danny McCammon, were volunteer department.
And, you know, town involvement.
Right.
And
We built a JC building.
Okay.
over in Brookhaven.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we built a swimming pool over there.
Yes.
It was an entertain youth.
Mm-hmm.
We used to have a band that come played over Saturday night over there.
Right.
You know, and that's what you did. And we took that money and developed that JC building,
Mm-hmm.
bought the land, just developed the swimming pool. You know, to give the kids something to do.
Right.
And it gave the young people in the town something to do to strive to help the community too. It's nothing but a community organization.
Right. Right.
And
And the chamber developed out of that.
out of
Okay.
that, really.
Yes, that's where the chamber developed out of those
That's where it
civic
came from.
interested people.
Yes.
And we need a chamber of commerce, you know. And what, 1970? I forgot what year the
But
chamber started. I know Gene Dolly was one of the first employees of the chamber,
Right.
like full-time employees.
Right.
And you'd have civic leaders like Wendy Brown, others that would be president, Smith and Nephew, not Smith and Nephew, the athletic.
I can't think of his
Yeah,
name.
should have my notes. But anyway, just wonderful people that men and women. Mrs. Garner was. Red Garner was the president.
Ms. Mildred.
Miss Mildred Garner was president of the local Bank of Mississippi,
Right.
Down here, and just all of those people were people who became members of this Southaven Chamber.
Right.
Join us next week for the final part of the history of Southaven with Barry and Peck Bouchillon.
Please visit www.southavenbusinessbeat.com for more episodes. We would like to thank the following sponsor.
Pure Focus Media exists to make high-quality media accessible to all businesses, regardless of their size or budget. We believe that every business deserves to have its story told with clarity and creativity, and we are here to bring that vision to life.
This podcast is brought to you by the Southaven Chamber of Commerce. We know relationships create commerce. Want to join the Southaven Chamber? Visit www.southavenchamber.com. Be sure to share and subscribe. Thanks for watching.